Hey guys, so in today's video I'm going to be talking about something a little bit more interesting, or something that is not really usual on my channel. So when I was a lot younger, I would dabble in things like lucid dreaming and astral projection, as a lot of people do, early on their spiritual journey. And when I was around 15, I had watched a video from Sadhguru, and in this video he is at a temple, and this temple is said to house the subtle body of Agastya Muni at this one linga. And a lot of yogis would leave their subtle bodies behind to essentially like a karmic program, like to set an atmosphere in a certain place that would allow you to meditate easier, or to replicate what was felt within that subtle body. So yeah, essentially Agastya Muni, the person who left his subtle body in this temple, was one of the 7 Sapta Rishis, which were the 7 sages which trained under Shiva, the first 7 yogis which trained under Shiva, which is the Adiyogi, Shankara, the Adiyogi, who taught these Sapta Rishis, including Agastya Muni, yoga on the banks of Manasarovar River, close to Kailash. So Agastya Muni is a very important figure in Indian mysticism and yoga as we practice and experience it today. And he left his subtle body in this temple. So I've always felt very connected to Agastya Muni and my guru, Sadhguru, because they feel familiar. It feels as if my energy signature has something to do with them, and I'm kind of pulled to their practices and their kind of yoga because it appeals to me and it works for me very well. So I was in a dream. This is where the experience starts. I was in a dream and I was at the same temple that this episode of Sadhguru's channel was at, and there is like kind of this platform with a bunch of chariots on it, and it's very artistic and detailed, and there's kind of like a steel cage around it to stop people from climbing on the display. And there was a woman in this dream, and she was standing there, and she explained to me, there is a theater play that is going to happen. And Sadhguru, he always says in his videos, life is a play, because nothing really matters in the grand scheme of things. And she said, you are going to be in a theater play. And keep in mind, Agastya Muni's subtle body is said to be in this place where this dream is taking place. And so she says, you are going to play the role of Agastya Muni in this play. And when she said his name, I essentially was launched out of my body with more force than I've ever experienced in my life. And I hit the ceiling over there, right over there. And I hit the ceiling and my energy stretched out like a rubber mass, like I was like a rubber ball, and it just hit the ceiling and stretched out. It's like the space between my eyes and my eyes themselves, like my sensory center, just totally expanded, and I like all over my ceiling. And then I was immediately snapped straight back down into my body, and I like woke up with a gasp, like, what just happened? And it was the middle of the night, and I was freaking out because I thought that I could die. I was so terrified because it was so intense. It was like I was taken out of my body. I was launched out of my body and stretched and then put back into my body. And I've never heard of an astral projection like that before. So it was a dream, and then it led to an astral projection. And I think because Agastya Muni's subtle body was at this temple, I thought maybe I had accessed it. And because his energy, enlightened beings, the energy comes up the spine and pushes you, higher. And that is, the Kundalini. And so I feel maybe when she said his name, I had been in such a subtle form that I accessed that energy, because this is the whole point of leaving the subtle body behind, is that you access this energy. And when I did, that receptivity to his subtle body launched me out of my body and expanded my sense for a short period, and then I was snapped back into my body. And then my whole life kind of changed after that. My relationships changed after that for the better. Many things changed after that day. And that's not the only astral projection I've had. There are around 5 of them which I have had, which I've documented, and I stopped dabbling in it. I actually attempted it for 6 years unsuccessfully, and then when I stopped at I think around 14, I had my first astral projection at around 15. I couldn't even move, and it was just like I was separated. I could see my body, but I couldn't move at all. Anyway, that's not part of this video. I will explain that probably in a different video. And I'm not saying that any of you should get into astral projection or that you should even try it. The main goal of yoga and my videos is to bring you closer to, and myself closer to, the truth, and to, we can have fun though, and we can look at these things and enjoy these things and, feel a sense of wonder towards them and, what could be out there in these higher dimensions. But I don't recommend that you necessarily get into astral projection. That's not what my channel is about. But I thought today I might share some of my experience in astral projection. But yeah, guys, I will see you soon. Have a great day or a great night, afternoon, whatever is going in your country. And I will see you very soon.